Good evening, everyone, and I'm so sorry that we had some technical difficulties, but I'm very excited tonight to be doing an incredible presentation on something that I am very passionate about, which is the Tower Garden. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Celine Perot. I'm a registered nurse in the Jacksonville, Florida area, and I've actually been with a company that owns the Tower Garden called the Juice Plus Company. I've actually been with them for 17 years. And you can imagine, as a nurse, I had zero experience growing on a Tower Garden. So when I heard we're gonna have this kind of technology, I was like, what? Why are we gonna start gardening? I had zero experience. I killed every science fair project known to man. But when I saw the man who invented the Tower Garden, I was so impressed by his story, his dreams, and how he wanted to change the earth, really change the world, and really inspire people to eat more fruits and vegetables. So I'm going to first let you guys know that I'm going to be joined tonight by two very, very good friends of mine. I have Jessica Wells, who's a personal trainer here in Jacksonville. She's been working with me for about 15 years. And we also have Dr. Christy Harfell, who is a chiropractor, who also has a ton of knowledge in nutrition. And she owns a wonderful practice here in Jacksonville, Florida called Health by Design. So to start off tonight, we're gonna watch a few videos, and we're also gonna be sharing some pictures and our stories on how we grow good health in our families. So the first video that I'm gonna show you guys tonight is one that gives me goosebumps. It's the founder, Tim Blank, the man who invented the Tower Garden. And if you've ever been to Epcot, you've probably seen him. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring up his story. And hopefully you guys will get goosebumps like I have. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Let me make it nice and big so we can watch it.
Well, I grew up in western North Dakota, and if you've ever been to western North Dakota, you'll know that it's a place often referred to as God's country, because it's a place where the bison still roam free, and agriculture dominates the landscape. And I guess that's what where the seed of agriculture started in me. Growing up in a family with 5 siblings, we didn't get to take a vacation every summer, but by the time I was in high school, my family had the opportunity to take a vacation to Walt Disney World, and if you can imagine what an experience that was. And out of all the 4 theme parks at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, the one that really stood out with me was Epcot, because Epcot was the place of the future. It was very inspirational to see all the different nationalities working together and all the different technologies. And the place that stood out the most to me was a special ride at Epcot called The Land. It was an hour-long backstage behind-the-scenes tour where they grew food crops from all over the world hydroponically. The thing I loved most about that backstage tour at The Land was it inspired me. I knew in that moment what I was going to go to school for and what I was going to do with the rest of my life. So I went and got a degree in horticulture, and eventually I came back to work as an advanced intern at Walt Disney World. I was very blessed to get an internship at The Land at Epcot. Thousands of people applied for that position, and they only selected 10. And used that opportunity to grow and develop my skills in hydroponic food production. And long after my day was ended, I volunteered and the various horticultural disciplines like plant pathology, entomology, biotechnology, to learn everything I could about hydroponic food production and this technology, because even though I didn't have a master's degree in these various research disciplines, these doctors saw the potential in me and hired me on after my internship to conduct high-end scientific research with both NASA and the Department of Energy right there at The Land at Epcot. Well, during that first 7 years at The Land, I had an opportunity to learn just about everything that related to hydroponic and aeroponic food production. I got to learn about beneficial insects, microorganisms, plant pathology, biotechnology, and allowed me to move into greenhouse operations manager of the entire Land greenhouse facility in 2000, and I kept that position until 2005. In retrospect, I think it was those 12 years with the Walt Disney World Company that gave me the wisdom and the experience to go out and do something on my own. In 2005, I felt like that was a great opportunity to launch Future Growing, which was a company that would take very similar technologies and make them available for everybody, whether they be a commercial grower or for an individual homeowner who wanted to grow food right in their own backyard. So over the earlier years at the company, we developed the world's first patented vertical aeroponic technology called the Tower Garden. The Tower Garden can grow everything from a head of lettuce to an edible herb to a beautiful beefsteak tomato. And the idea was that every single crop that a homeowner would want to grow could be done right in the comfort of their own backyard. On the commercial side of our vertical aeroponic food production business, we've set up many urban and rooftop farms around the country, and even in many cases had some of the world's first of its kinds. For example, going back to 2009, we had the world's first certified green building with aquaponic and aeroponic food production on the roof. In 2010, we opened Manhattan's first aeroponic roof-to-table food farm that supported the restaurant down below. And now in 2011, at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, we opened the world's very first aeroponic food farm in an airport terminal, and all that food is used to feed many of the 67 restaurants at the O'Hare Airport. This dream I had that was rooted all the way back to my childhood about doing something for humanity, finding a better way of growing food, is finally coming to fruition. Seeing these projects come alive excites me more than it ever did, and I have a hard time sleeping at night. I can't wait to get that next aeroponic Tower Garden project out there. So living life to the plus is living your passion. I wake up every single day doing what I love to do, and that is helping people grow fresh, healthy food right in their own backyard.
Wow. I don't know about you guys. I get such a lump in my throat to see that he turned this dream into fruition, right? And really is living his dream. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Tim Blank. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's still very passionate. They have 16-story buildings throughout the world with vertical tower gardens. So you're probably wondering, how in the world can you grow all of your garden vegetables inside the tower? So the next video is a short and sweet video, and it shows you how the tower garden works. And then after that, I'm going to invite Dr. Christie to speak a little bit about why do we want to grow our own food, and why is it so important to have that kind of control of your food. So just give me a second as I pull up this video.
Welcome to Tower Garden by Juice Plus. Whether you've already bought a tower garden or just want to learn more about it, we're going to show you why this is one of the smartest purchases you'll ever make.
Tower Garden is a patented, state-of-the-art vertical gardening system that makes it easy for anyone to grow fresh fruits and vegetables right at home.
And you don't have to be a gardener to enjoy Tower Garden. In fact, people who've never grown anything in their lives tell us it's not only a fun way to grow your own fresh produce, but it's also a great way to help you and your family eat healthier by adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet.
So what exactly is Tower Garden? And why is it such a smart purchase? Well, as a gardener myself, if I had to describe it in one word, that word would be easier. Easier to start than a traditional garden, and a whole lot easier to maintain. With a compact, state-of-the-art vertical design that fits easily on a deck, patio, or balcony.
Easier for us non-gardeners too. Though the word I'd use would be convenient. Think about it. You want a salad? Just open the back door, take a couple steps over to your tower garden, and there it is. Fresh, healthy, tasty produce. It's like having a farmer's market on your back porch.
And while most gardeners enjoy getting out the shovel, putting on the gloves, and digging around in the backyard, more and more are also enjoying a new way of gardening, the Tower Garden way. Everything you need to start growing is right in the box, with none of the weeding, tilling, and ground pests you get with a regular garden. And to top it off, there's an online resource center to help you every step of the way.
You even get to be a part of a growing community of health-minded, environmentally conscious Tower Garden owners who share growing tips and learn from each other on the Tower Talk online forum.
As soon as you start putting your tower garden together, you begin to understand the amazing science behind it. It grows plants using something called aeroponics. Aeroponics is the process of growing plants in an air or mist environment without the use of soil. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir tank at its base. Here, a pump pushes a nutrient solution up the central column to the top of the tower. On its journey down the tower, the plant roots are showered with the nutrient solution. And this process is continually repeated, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. Because of this aeroponic system, Tower Garden uses as little as 10% of the water usually needed for regular gardening. And since it's vertical, it uses less than 10% of the land as well.
What's even more amazing is the variety of produce you can grow. Each Tower Garden grows 20 plants, and you can choose from a wide variety of fruits and vegetables and herbs, including lettuce, tomatoes, basil, strawberries, even melons. By giving you the power to grow your own fresh fruits and vegetables at home, Tower Garden helps you grow a healthier family, too.
You'll quickly discover that Tower Garden fruits and vegetables are better looking and better tasting than supermarket produce that's been shipped hundreds or even thousands of miles.
And if your kids are picky eaters, research shows that children who help grow their own fresh fruits and vegetables are much more likely to eat them. Not to mention the fact that assembling, growing, and harvesting your Tower Garden is a fun activity for the whole family.
Tower Garden contributes to a healthier environment too. Not only does it use less land and water, but Tower Garden also reduces the need for pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides. The all-natural earth minerals in the Tower Tonic nutrient solution help produce strong, healthy plants that are more resistant to pests and disease.
And thanks to Tower Garden's patented technology, those plants grow much faster than they would in soil. You can harvest gourmet lettuce and other leafy greens in about 3 weeks and keep harvesting and reharvesting for months. For many of us, keeping up with the regular garden these days just isn't an option, either because we don't have the space, the time, or if you're like me, there's just too much work involved.
And because the cost of store-bought produce keeps going up and the quality keeps going down, Tower Garden can save you money.
In fact, when you consider that the USDA recommends a family of 4 spend as much as $100 a week on fruits and vegetables, it's easy to see how your Tower Garden can quickly pay for itself. It's certainly a lot less than investing in a garage full of the tools and other stuff you need for regular gardening.
And because it's made from durable, food-grade plastic, it will keep paying those dividends for years.
So experience a garden that's healthier for you, your family, and the environment.
Experience the freshness and great taste of eating about as local as you can possibly get, from tower to table.
Experience Tower Garden by Juice Plus. It's one of the smartest purchases you'll ever make.
Wow, I just love seeing all the green vegetables. And I can tell you, the first time I ever saw a tower and I tasted a strawberry and a tomato, it was a taste that I remember my grandmother's garden having back when I was a young kid. I had not even experienced that in all my years of adulthood, because even though I went to farmers markets and organic farms, it still didn't taste that fresh because I actually picked it immediately off the plant and ate it. So I would love Dr. Christie, who's got a lot of nutrition experience and knowledge, for her to share, one, what was it about Tower Garden that attracted you? And what do you think about the nutrition of the plants that grow in it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I grew up in an Italian family. So my grandpa had like acres worth of gardens. He had greenhouses. He was always giving us like fresh plants, and we ate vegetables as kids. So we might be the rarity that I grew up loving vegetables, you know. And so as an adult, like I always wanted to kind of keep that tradition going. And as a chiropractor and nutritionist, of course, like nutrition, I live and breathe it. So I just also know I'm busy. Like if I were to have to grow a traditional garden, there's no way, like the thing would be crispy and I would come home and be totally dissatisfied and discouraged. So I just see like the tower as it's like a no-brainer way of gardening. Like I have messed it up, but that was because the electric went out during a hurricane and you kind of need electricity to keep the pump going. So now I've learned that you have to plug it into the generator, but other than that, like you really can't mess it up. And then of course, you know, the food quality is of utmost importance. I think, you know, just in light of everything that's recently happened, we all have realized the need to be a little more self-sustainable. More people are interested in growing their own food and having healthy produce on hand. I think what we all realized is that we're not necessarily willing to sacrifice the quality of the food that we're going to eat just because there is some kind of a national pandemic going on. And so as it's been harder to gather high quality organic food that we all want and desire, this is definitely a solution that I see that's affordable and people can do. You know, there's no pesticides, it's all natural, it's just mineral tonic, the seeds are organic and non-GMO. So I see this as an answer on a lot of fronts, really.
Well, I can tell you, being a nurse, one of the first things that I worried about was, okay, if there's no dirt, how is the produce going to be nutrient dense? And so for those of you that like research like me, I'm going to bore you with one quick study. The University of Mississippi has a #1 botany program in the United States, so the top program for growing. And what they did was they took their best organic soil they could make, and they planted kale in it. And then they compared it to kale grown in the Tower Garden. And then they statistically compared the two. And what I love is the kale in the Tower Garden grew 30% faster, okay? But guess what? Had the same nutrient value as the kale grown in the best organic soil. So ladies, we can actually garden with no dirt and not get dirty and not have to worry about weeds and still know that we're getting the most nutritious produce out of the Tower Gardens. And for me as a mom, I can tell you that growing in a Tower Garden has completely changed the way my kids look at food. My kids used to, like, if you put something in front of them, they wouldn't want to eat it. But when they grow it, they're curious and they want to try it. So I was the family down the street that all the kids wanted to come down, and believe it or not, they wanted to have mint chocolate chip shakes at my house. And my neighbor's like, I know darn well there is no ice cream in that house. And you're right. What I was doing was taking kale off the Tower Garden and I was mixing it with peppermint oil and almond milk and some chocolate chips. And I was making these kids smoothies with my Tower Garden produce. And then it was so funny because the kids became so interested in the Tower Garden that every day we'd run out to look at the cucumbers. They literally grow almost an inch a night. I kid you not. And I remember one day my kids wanted to pick them. I'm like, nope, let's wait till the next day. And we went out there and they're all gone. We're like, okay, what animal is stealing our cucumbers? Well, the animal's name was Molly, a 4-year-old down the street that was coming to our house, pulling the cucumbers and hiding them underneath her bed. So it's really cool to see that kids kind of go out of their comfort zone to try stuff that they grow. So the next video, I want you guys to think about nutrition and how we're changing the world. And really the thought that comes to my mind are kids. And grab some tissues, because I think this video is really going to hit home in how important it is for us to instill good eating habits and teaching kids how to grow their own food. Thank you, Dr. Christie.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's go to the next. Sorry, we're going to move this over a little bit.
Out of darkness came the most incredible light, and the legacy of my son and countless other students that I've had to bury far too young, which will far exceed their time on this earth. We are the poorest congressional district in America. That's an economic reality. You have 45,000 people living within 8 square blocks of each other, and healthy, fresh food is not available. So many, food is the problem, but for all of us, food is the answer. In a 100-year-old building, 4 stories up, I am wrapping schools, teachers, and children around a garden. Kids can't wait to see what's growing. They can't wait to measure what's growing. They can't wait to eat what's growing and cook what's growing and grow more and talk about it and share it with their family, friends, and colleagues and integrate it into their classroom work. When you see kids who are happier and healthier, you can't help but be caught up with that. We grow food in school. We track it, we measure it, we date it. And if you expand their palates and their vocabularies, you expand their mind. This work is about giving life, creating life, perpetuating life. We are a whole school approach to education rooted in health, wellness, and mindfulness. The work is definitely evolved, and we are growing something greater. I go from a box to a garden in 45 minutes. My classroom is hosting people from 60 countries around the world, 6 continents. How cool is that? Our grades are up, our attendance is up, our school performance is up. You put a seed in a child's hand and you're promising them that's a plant, and they bet on that. So these children are betting on their future. Of all the plants I've grown, the greatest crop has been my students themselves. That's cool.
Wow, just wow. And I've seen this so many, and growing in the tower, I've been growing for about 10 years, and I've just seen the changes in children and what they crave, and how when they start eating healthy, they just love it, and they crave more healthy food. So I'm going to invite my really good friend, Jessica Wells, who's a personal trainer here in Jacksonville, to share a little bit about her gardening experience. And let me tell you, she grows the best towers, the most beautiful towers ever. I always have a little bit of jealousy when I see her on Facebook. So Jessica, would you mind joining us and just sharing a little bit about our mission of our company, as well as your tower garden experience?
I'd love to. It's funny you say that, because all my life I love the idea of having a garden and eating my own fresh fruits and vegetables. But I didn't love the idea of digging in the dirt and all the manual labor that goes with the traditional gardening. Every spring I would plant herbs, vegetables, tomatoes, and peppers in pots. And then I had this, it looked like bleachers. I had like 3 levels of wood that I'd go strategically put by the sprinkler, plant the everything I wanted to plant in the pots, and then set it out there and hope it would grow. And sometimes I got some peppers. The caterpillars love the tomatoes. and I had probably a little basil and rosemary, and that was about it. So it was quite disappointing, because I really wanted to be a gardener. And so when I learned about the tower garden and how I could grow my own garden without digging in the soil and all the manual labor, I was so excited, and I was just immediately on board. And I can't even tell you. So now I've had my gardens for over 10 years, and I've enjoyed having organic and non-genetically modified herbs, vegetables, fruits, all for myself, my family, and my clients. And I've just fallen in love with it, which you can tell because I'm always posting it on Facebook. I have a peace of mind knowing where my vegetables came from, and knowing what's not on them. So I'm so thankful for the tower garden. I can't even imagine my life without it. I really feel like a successful gardener with my tower garden. I feel like I'm getting the best nutrition that I can with it. That's my tower garden story. So like you said, I've been a personal trainer for over 25 years, maybe longer. I enjoy it because I have a passion for helping people be healthy. And there's a few problems that came along with personal training. One very frustrating problem. As a trainer, I'm only worth my hour. And everybody knows people working out, they work out and then they don't. So personal training business is just a roller coaster financially. And so when I realized I needed another stream of income to reduce the financial stress and have a consistent income, build a residual income with benefits and my retirement. So then I found the Juice Plus company in the Tower Garden, and I could see that I could continue to help people get healthy, even more people actually than just training one-on-one, because you can really reach more people, especially when you build a team of people who love to inspire healthy living around the world. And that's really what we do. And now I'm celebrating that I've been able to pay off debt, and I can do personal training on my own terms. So that's a really good feeling. And I love that I get to help others realize their dreams as well, because that is also part of being healthy. And the tower garden is so much bigger than just your tower garden and my tower garden. As you can see with the Stephen Ritz and the Grow Tower Garden in your classroom and schools, that is so awesome. And like it said, kids that take part in growing fruits and vegetables eat fruits and vegetables. For me, what a better way to help kids fight childhood obesity than to have them grow their own fruits and vegetables and love to eat it. So schools can get a grant to bring Tower Garden into the classroom and free access to lesson plans. And that is just so powerful. Even more exciting is the Juice Plus Company Foundation has pledged to donate 1 Tower Garden to every Boys and Girls Club in North America over the next 5 years. Now that is really changing lives, really helping people get healthy, and I'm all in with that. So that talks about, you know, how I love the Tower Garden, but it's bigger, you know, it's helping people be healthy and realize their dreams, and that's very heavy on my heart. So to wrap that up, I'd really like to thank everybody for taking the time to be with us this evening. We're so excited to share. We hope you enjoyed the information and that we gave you some information maybe that you didn't know. If Tower Garden is not for you, that's okay. Maybe you can ask yourself, who do I know who needs this or would love this? And please send them our way, because we'd love to share. And maybe you're ready to get your Tower Garden today. If so, just reach out to the person who invited you and they can get you all set up with your Tower Garden. It comes with everything you need to get started, including genetically modified seeds. Or maybe you're like us and you want to inspire healthy living around the world with your friends and your family and in your children's schools and in the Boys and Girls Club. And maybe you would like or need extra income. We will be so excited to have you join our team. And again, just get with the person who invited you and they can get you started as a partner in inspiring healthy living around the world. So thank you. It's been a blast. Dr. Christy, Celine, do you have any other thoughts?
I am just so thrilled to bring this technology to everyone. And Dr. Christy, if you have anything to add, I'm actually going to show a quick little slideshow on pictures of people's towers. And so what I did is I went on Facebook and I pulled some of my favorite pictures, and I'm sure you'll probably see something from Jessica on here, one of her towers. But Dr. Christy, do you have anything to add before I do the slideshow?
It's just been a family favorite, a patient favorite. We've had it on our deck. People love it. It's a conversational piece. I moved it to the office because it's fun for people to see coming and going, what's growing from week to week. And like Jessica mentioned, like people who are involved in growing their own food suddenly have an interest in eating healthier. And, you know, one positive step leads to the next, to the next, to the next. So I think this is a really good starting place for people who've been wanting to eat healthy and just didn't know where to start.
Definitely, I agree. All right, let me show you guys the Tower Garden slides that I put together. All right, so there at the bottom is Stephen Ritz with some of the Tower Gardens. Look how green these Tower Gardens are. They're just so beautiful.
And there's the home tower.
Yes, and here is a Tower Garden greenhouse that some people have. So you can see this person has 8 of their own towers. I'm just going to tell you, my dream to have such a thing. And then you can see the head of lettuce up here, how big that head of Bibb lettuce is. And then here are some people posing with their towers. Everybody's very proud on Facebook. I have to say, I think people show more pictures of their towers lately than they do their kids, but not their dogs, And then I love that Tower Gardens are fun for the kids and parents as well. But look at that head of cabbage. Did you ever think you could grow a head of cabbage? And if you don't know what's below the cabbage, don't feel bad. I didn't either. That's kale, delicious kale that you can cut and make awesome chips with. And then look at these tomatoes. I mean, the taste of these tomatoes is unreal. And then you can see this tower over here. It's very busy, isn't it? She's got a lot going on. At the top, there's some celery. I see some peppers off to the side, and then there's kale at the bottom, and I think bok choy, but I'm not sure. And then here is my friend in the middle. This is my friend Nancy Kropa, and she is posing with her tower. And do you see the squash hanging there? That's actually spaghetti squash. I never thought you could grow your own spaghetti squash on a tower. And I don't have a picture of it, but I saw where someone just posted on Facebook. They grew a 20-pound watermelon, which is so cool. So again, I just want to thank everybody for sharing and for coming on tonight and spending some time. And here's my friend's little girl, Violet, on my patio with my tower. But I do hope that you guys see something here that interests you and at least inspires you to eat more fruits and vegetables. And if you have any questions, please get in touch with the person that invited you tonight. And then we'll also be posting some other information in the Facebook group called Grow Good Health with the Tower Garden. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.